Hey, James here from 5 Star Rating 22. Hope everyone's doing alright today. I just had a quick tips video that I wanted to do for you guys. Just a cool thing that I thought that somebody might find useful or handy. What I'm gonna make today is some razor wire. So of course, you can buy this stuff from Games Workshop, hobby shops, and different scenery maker places. Of course, but that is going to cost you quite a bit more money than it will doing it the way I'm going to show you here. The way I'm going to show you here to make it, it might not be as fancy or as nice as those pre-made ones, but it's going to be a heck of a lot cheaper making it this way than buying the pre-made stuff. So you're going to need just a few things here to make this razor wire, and a good purpose for this razor wire would be to add it to your bases on your miniatures, terrain, game boards or whatever. So first thing here is the wire. You can get this at most do-it-yourself hobby centers, or not hobby centers. I'm sorry, do-it-yourself type place like Menards, Lampert's, places like that. I just got this at our hardware department here in town, and it's cheap. You buy it off the big spool, and you can get a whole bunch of it for a few bucks. It's really cheap. I'm not sure the width on this or the diameter on this wire. I'd say it's about twice the width of the wire you'd find like in the twisty ties for on top of sandwich bags and stuff like that. I'd say it's about twice that width. It's relatively thin, easy, malleable. You're also going to need a pair of metal snips. I have Army Painter's metal snips right there. And then you're going to want either vice grips, which the smaller's the better on that, and then a pair of pliers if you don't have the vice grips. Now again, you can use the metal snips to add the effect that I'm going to add, but I prefer to use the vice grips. Alright, so here's just kind of an idea of what we're going for here. Just a little piece of razor wire, and I'm not sure, the camera's kind of picking it up, but you can kind of see the spots where it's kind of got a little bit extra shine to it. To represent the razor there, so it's not the greatest, but I mean it works, and it doesn't look that bad. Also, you're gonna need just a pencil or a pen or some kind of circular cylinder type object to wrap the wire around to make this. So first thing we're gonna do, just take a piece of wire, straighten out a length however long you want, however long you're looking to make your razor wire, and then just take your metal snips and snip that part off. And then you're going to want to take your pencil here and just take the end of the wire. Make sure you got it pretty nice and straight. And then you're going to want to take the wire and just start to pinch it and crimp it and kind of start to wrap it around one part there. Then I'm going to take some tape and just tape down the one end. If you have duct tape, all the better. And this is just kind of to help you give you a little more surface area to grasp that tip, since this wire is relatively small, and to keep it kind of from shifting on the pencil up and down. To help keep your distance between coils more even, or more I guess would be factorized or whatever. So now all I'm doing is twisting the pencil while holding the wire at about a 45-degree angle off the pencil, and just twisting and trying to keep the distance between coils relatively similar. So all you're going to do is just keep twisting it around, and you can do it for however long length of razor wire you're looking to make. Here I'm just going to use the whole piece that I had cut off. And now if you wanted to cut it off short or whatever, just take your metal snips, and snip off the excess. And you want to make sure to press the end there. Now I'm just going to take and remove the tape that I had on the one end to get that out of the way. And then now what I'm going to do here is you can pull it off just like this and use it. That's about the perfect width for using on bases and for with your models and stuff. But I'm going to make this a little bit thicker in diameter. The coil's a little wider in diameter to help for visual purposes. So what I'm doing is just taking and taking both ends right now and just twisting opposite of each other, and then I'm going to move my fingers kind of together coil by coil and try to get them a nice consistent diameter. And you can do this, and just kind of make them however thick you want your diameter to be. Of course, an easier way to do this is just use a thicker diametered width of something, a cylinder like maybe a marker or a dowel, something like that. You can just start out with the bigger width, but this works just fine too. It might not make it as uniform, but you can kind of work with it. It's relatively thin metal, so it's pretty malleable. So you can see there now that I've got a nice little piece, and that, it looks alright as is, but it doesn't have any razor effect to it. I suppose you could paint it up, paint it up with some rust and then add some silver kind of lines to it to give it a reflections and spot to make it look like it has razor, at least visually. But a nice easy way that I'm going to show you here is with the pliers. There's three ways of doing that. You can take the metal snips and just go in, and you want to be careful when you're using the metal snips. You want to go in only about a quarter of the way. If you go much more than that, it's going to make it so the metal is going to easily snap. I went a little too thick there actually, but you want to just try to you want to try to just grab the very tip of it and pinch it so you get part of it to kind of, it smushes out and a spike of it will come out, and that gives it a really nice effect. But it's a hard thing to do, and it's kind of rough on the tips of your snips. So my personal favorite here is I like the vice grips. And so what you want to do is you want to take it and get them so they're almost all the way, so just the tips are almost touching but not too far. And you're just going to take, and you want to make sure when you're doing it this way that you're squishing it so that the part that's getting squished down is going to be the outer edge of the coil. Because what it's happening here is when it's squishing it, it's flattening it out, it's thinning the wire, and giving it a nice smooth reflective surface on the top that's going to give that visual effect of it being sharper in that area, since it'll be more brighter than the rest of the coil where you went ahead and pressed down with the vice grips here. So you just go ahead and do that all around the wire. Now it's going to kind of bend out of shape and stuff when you do this. An easier way, if you want your wire to be nice and uniform, is to actually do the razor effect before you coil it around before you coil it around the pencil, and then that'll help keep it more uniform. Now again, after I get done with this, I could just put it back on the pencil, give it a little bit of a twist, and get it nice and uniform again. But sometimes, if the wire's been sitting there for a while outside and stuff like that, it's gonna warp anyways. So I kind of, I kind of like the effect that it gets. I bend it back and touch it up a bit, but I don't like it being quite so uniform because I don't think that's as natural. But you can start to see there the kind of effect you kind of get the razor. Now here it's hard to see on camera, but you can kind of see that, okay, there you go. See, that's the part where I used the metal snips and I had went too far through. That's another reason why I like the vice grips so much, is just because you don't have to worry about that as much with the vice grips. It's not gonna make it snap as easy. When you use the snips, it really thins and weakens out the metal, so you gotta be really careful if you're using the snips, otherwise you're gonna get a bunch of pieces breaking off, and if it keeps happening to you, it's gonna really start to irk you. So be careful if you use the metal snips to add the effect. Another way is just to use pliers. Now I found pliers are a little bit harder to get it as using the vice grips. It's doable, but the vice grips seem to work a lot better. I think you just get a better leverage with the vice grips, so I prefer them the best. But you can kind of see the effect here. You get the little bit of glare from where you pinch down. I mean, any of the three will work. And there's also a fourth way that you can do this. It's the most time-consuming way, but it probably adds, it adds a good 3D effect. And that's what you do is you take little bits of wire, cut off about an inch, and all you're gonna do is take it, and twist it around the metal and get kind of nice hooks. As you can see there, and then you would just run them in, add a little dot of super glue, and glue them in place, and then snip off the end, so you get almost a barbed wire effect to it. So you can do it that way too. That way is very time consuming, just to get those made up. If you're gonna do it that way, I suggest using the pliers. Cutting out a bunch of inch-long pieces, wrap it around the razor wire, and then just taking the pliers, and then just twisting it around. So, but anyways, that's the general idea, guys. I hope maybe someone got got an idea or thought of something that you might want to try now with this, and And it's just another cheap way to help everyone out. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm glad to help out. So you guys have a good one. Go out there and make things. And this is for Terrain New, man. You inspire me to come up with cheap ways of making things.